All right, we are going to write the equation for this graph, this trigonometric function. So, to do this trigonometric function, I said that fast, trigonometric function, you know this one starts right there and ends right there. And if you see a graph that starts here and ends here, you should know it's a sine graph. So I know this one is going to be y equals a sine of something graph. Now, how do we find all the pieces? We have to map it. We have to find the midline, amplitude, and period. So we have to find the midline, the amplitude, and the period in order to help us get the rest of the parts. Your midline is right down the middle, so hopefully you can see that's y equals 0. Your amplitude, well, you're going up how far and down how far? Hopefully you can see your amplitude is 3. And your period, well, if I went from this dot to this dot and then I recycled again, isn't pi your period? Now the problem is, pi does not tell me your b value, because you don't need a b value. So we need to convert this to a b value. So to convert that, you're going to take, to find b, you're going to take 2 pi and divide by your period, which that would give us 2. So I know my b value is 2. That's going to be important in a second. So we have a sine graph. Which letter goes first? The amplitude, and our amplitude is 3. So that's going to be a 3 right there. Okay, let's go to the outside. What goes on the outside is your midline, which is 0, which if you want to, you got to put a plus 0. You don't have to. And on the inside is our b, and our b value is 2. So on the inside, I would have 2x or 2 theta. I'm going to do 2 theta. It doesn't matter. You could have x or theta. Just don't forget it needs a variable inside. And that right there would be the equation of that graph right there. Okay, for this graph, so let's look at it. What kind of graph is it? Well, if it starts down here and it ends at the same point, all right, goes up like this, you should notice a graph that starts away from the midline and has this, the graph that looks like a C is cosine. So we are graphing y equals something cosine. All right, so we know this is going to be a cosine, so we now got to map it out. What's my m? What's my a? And what's my p? So my midline, again, is just the axis, so it's 0. It's pretty easy. So my midline is y equals 0. My amplitude, well, how high did I go? 2 and down 2. So my amplitude is a 2. And my period, well, how far did I go from here to here? How far is that? It's 4 pi. So one cycle is 4 pi. Now, we're not quite done because we have to find b. b is always 2 pi divided by your period. Pi's canceled. That gives us 1/2. So let's plug that all in to this to make the function. So which goes first? The amplitude, which is 2, but isn't it upside down? You had to catch on. This is an upside down one. So this is actually a -2 right there. Be careful of the upside down graphs. Inside of here, you're going to put b x. So inside, you're going to do x divided by 2, or 1/2 x. And on the outside is your midline, which is 0. So you have a plus 0 if you want to put it. And that would be the equation.